Welcome to episode 5, the Bite Podcast in Dubai. I've got my lovely friend from Anavah Living. A warm welcome from us. Thank you for coming to Dental Studio. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, what your journey was.
Hi Melody, thank you so much for having me. This is actually absolutely love doing podcasts. I never realized I was such a talker until I started. I have so many words.
Yeah.
But how did I get my story? So I've got many stories. I was trying to think about what is my story.
Yeah.
And I think the one that's relevant today is at the age of 21, I woke up one morning and everything was double. Nothing was wrong before. I woke up and I saw two images, one above the other. It took us so long, neurologist, I went to ophthalmologist. They even wanted to cut my eye, to pull the eyelid, to pull the eyeball up so that I could see one vision.
Oh, wow.
Eventually my dad, from nights of Googling, found out that it was an autoimmune disease called myasthenia gravis, which is very scarce.
Wow.
So then I just started treatment on that. Eventually I went on to cortisone therapy. And that actually helped the double vision. But of course we know with that, we gain weight, so many other things. So my skin completely...
I was just going to say, you get a lot of breakouts.
Yeah. I got perioral dermatitis really, really badly. If you go onto my Instagram account, there's some photos there. It was raw around the mouth. So then I had to go on Roaccutane, right? Because we needed, we're all women, right? We want to look good. We want to wear makeup, so Roaccutane it was. Then I got high cholesterol. So now I'm on statins.
So it's literally going and going.
The one thing is causing another thing, right? So now I'm on statins for the cholesterol, and now I'm getting joint pains. Now the doctor says, okay, now you have to go on chronic anti-inflammatory. So now I'm on,
I was going to say, how
it was 18 pills, because I was taking, I think, about 10 cortisone tablets at the time. And that's actually when I realized, listen, I have to take my own healing into my own hands. And that's when I started researching, started doing things, started loving myself for me, and just healing my gut. And then I healed. I'm completely in remission from the autoimmune condition. I've been in remission for 10 years.
Gives me goosebumps.
I haven't been on a tablet since then. My skin is cleared. I'm on no medication whatsoever, but that's why I went to study, because I knew I did a lot of things, but I didn't know exactly how I did it step by step, so I could help other people. So that's when I went to study back at IIN. It's the largest nutrition school in the world. I did my health coaching there.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, lovely. Cool, yeah.
And then I did hormone health coaching after that, because I'm a lifelong learner, and then I'm a Chopra life coach. And I've also got a 4-year degree in stomatology, which is study of the body.
Wow. So you're an expert.
I feel like you know what, we all have this imposter syndrome where we we never know enough.
Yes.
But I just know what it feels like to have no hope. And then I know what it feels like to feel amazing. And I'm slapping in the middle of perimenopause, and I'm really feeling amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it reminds me of the story, and I think I actually told you about it earlier on, but a little bit lighter about it. When my mom is alive, exactly what you're speaking about is exactly what she was going through. More and more things were going wrong. She was going from one specialist to the next specialist, and nobody was giving her an answer. Long story short,
just more pills.
Go fix it, bye. Yeah. I looked after her, and unfortunately she didn't last very long after that. She lasted for about a year and 8 months. But in that year and 8 months, I approached her and I said, Mom, we're going to eat healthy, we're going to walk, you're getting off that medication. Before she passed, I think she was only on 3 to 4 medication, but that was because it was of how sick she was. But from going from one end to not being able to walk to all of a sudden, so I truly believe that if people like you in the world can just share awareness and stuff, something can change. You can help somebody. You know what I mean?
And the body is created to heal, right? Imagine you fall down and you scrape your knee open. You don't have to put a pill and whatever, okay, we disinfect, but the body knows what to do, right?
Yeah.
It heals. So the body is meant to heal itself. We just need to give it the right conditions.
Yeah.
And that's what we do with holistic health, right? Is we bring in the conditions. And sometimes we do need a medication here and there, but I feel like that's always the first thing people want to take instead of doing the work.
I did read on your Instagram about the 4-week program that you've got going. Would you be able to explain a little bit of that to us?
Well, I'm not actually doing the 4-week program anymore at the moment, so I don't know.
Well, is there anything that you can take from that to give
So
the
what I'm
patient?
actually doing is the Fabulous Formula is my signature program.
Okay, yes.
So the Fabulous Formula, it's a 8-week program, and how I actually designed and written it is I've done hundreds and hundreds of blood work on women, so I was just seeing the same thing coming up again with them. So I've taken all the things insulin resistance is a big one, leaky gut we see on so many women, estrogen dominance we see. So all the things that I saw, I built it like in an 8-week program. So we start with the why. Because if you're not connected to the reason why you want to be healthy, and it's not a vanity thing, it's about living, like you want to see your grandkids. Maybe your mom would have loved to have been able to see that. It's a longer goal, right? It's maybe traveling not in a wheelchair, like I see so many people in wheelchairs now when we travel. But then, what I do is then I go step by step. We look at the liver. The liver is so important when it comes to hormones and when it comes to holistic health, because our liver is like the unsung hero. It clears out all our extra estrogen, so that's when we struggle with hormone imbalance, is when the liver is not working well. So I do go through all of the modalities in the insulin resistance. I talk a lot about cycle syncing. I'm very passionate about cycle syncing. So cycle syncing is let me think of a good way to explain it. We like the moon where men are like the sun. Men run on a 24-hour cycle, their hormones. So they're exactly the same every day. High testosterone in the morning, lower in the evening, and they just cycle day by day. We are over 28-ish day cycles. So we have high estrogen in the beginning of our cycle, dips, we have a bit of testosterone when we ovulate, and then we have progesterone in the second half. So everything needs a specific thing to be at its best. So that's, in a nutshell, it's like how we support our bodies best when our hormones are peaking at which stage. So in the beginning, when we have high estrogen, we feel sexy, we feel good, we can talk, very good for podcasts. When we, at the end of our cycle, when our hormones are dipping, we kind of want to just chill out a bit.
What are the signs and symptoms? Because the society, and obviously we will just touch on it just after this, the lifestyle we're living right now, women aren't having children as young as they used to. They're more living these independent, high stressful lifestyles. Obviously like now if you feel high, you can do a podcast. When you're feeling low, is there signs and symptoms we can basically feel or we can point out to make us feel like, okay, maybe we need to know when to stop, when to calm down, when to take a step back?
That's such a good question. I think the awareness comes with actually knowing your cycle. You'll be amazed how many women don't actually know even on what day of their cycle they're at. So that's the thing, the awareness. So get an app, like whatever app you can use to track your period, see where you are. And also then, I think a lot of women are so out of tune with their body. They're just in this hustle, go mode that they don't stop and just, what does my body need right now? And sometimes we say yes for a social engagement when we ovulate, and then the social engagement is maybe over the time of our periods, like, who was I? Why did I say?
Little reason why I asked that question, because I actually feel like that. I'm very much, I want to do this, I want to do that, but then there's some days I'm like, I don't want to. I just want, but obviously because you're high-paced individuals who live in a busy environment, I would like to know beforehand in my head, okay, I'm feeling like this, just chill. You can take a step back, you can relax.
And you can say maybe no for a social engagement. Maybe tonight's just a good night to have an early night, take a nice bath, just self-care.
How do you deal with women that are high-paced, like high individuals and stress with their hormones and eating habits? So obviously stress is inflammatory, it causes inflammatory responses. With the food, what would your management of them be if somebody had to walk in?
For me, it's more of small things, being consistent with it. Because a lot of women think of self-care, they think, oh, I'll go for a massage maybe next week, or I'll do a spa day once every 6 months. But for me, self-care is really like the consistent small things. If you feel, like as you're saying, like you feel overwhelmed, you feel rushed, maybe it's good to literally just sit back, do a few deep breaths and come back and continue, because even just bringing the nervous system out of that fight or flight in the rest and digest, you already kind of like flip the script. on the stress. So it is really, maybe especially the high corporate women, if you feel it's lunchtime, step away from your desk, go and eat your food so you can actually digest it and break it down, because a lot of people just sit in front of their computers, eat, and the body doesn't, we can go into digestion as well, because that's such a big part of it. But we don't even chew, we kind of, the body, the stomach doesn't even get the message that food is coming.
I was actually going to say, do you know what, you've just pointed out a very valid point. Many of my patients now say they're eating on the go, and it's not even like a chew, it's swallow, there's an energy bar, I'll just take this, I'll just take that. How do you address women like that?
It's so sad, because it's just the lifestyle we live with. You know what, I think we also create a life for ourselves, right? Because sometimes we are the person that puts that on ourselves, that we have to go, if you're going to say, listen, I'm going to sit and have my lunch and just have it for 10 minutes in a relaxed state, the world's not going to come crashing down. And I was speaking to someone last week about it. It's all about your state of being. Like if you run late, for instance, if you're going to hurry, you're still going to be 5 minutes late. If you just do what you need to do, get all your stuff ready, you leave the house, you're probably going to be 5 minutes late as well. But the state that you're doing that in is just a complete different frame of mind. And I've really been living that. And even with my children, we often say, hurry, put on your shoes. Okay, hurry, get in the... Why do we have to hurry?
Or just relax.
Just get in the bath, put your shoes on. Why does everything... And I've really made it such a big mindset thing of just... I'm so chill. Like my kids also say, Mom, I think your scream is over. Like I haven't screamed, I think maybe in 6 years. So it's just that mindset. So for women in that, it's just allowing themselves to take 5 minutes, step away, have their lunch.
I normally say to most of the women who like walk into my surgery, I'm like, as soon as this door's closed, you're more than welcome to shut off. You can put your phone on the side, you can relax, I'll play your favorite music. I know nobody enjoys what I do for a living.
No, I like I mean, who does?
So it's like, you know what, just relax. I'll put on the beach for you. Just pretend you're in another place, because it forces you to relax. And 9 times out of 10, they walk out saying, thank you. I just needed that reset. Or like, I mean, someone who have a problem, or I would diagnose a problem and say, are you on HRTs? Are you on this? Are you on this? I can see what's going on in your mouth. They look at me like, how do you know that?
Yeah, that's amazing, right?
I say to them, well, I've been doing it for like 15 years, but I mean, ultimately, I meet people like yourself. This is why I brought you on as well. Because I was like, if I can just learn a little bit from you, because I don't know it all.
Yeah,
you know,
nobody knows it all, right?
Yeah. So then if I could take a little bit of what you told me, or I can refer to you, patients can have that extra bit of care. They can get a bit of insight, they can relax, chill. Life will still go on.
That's the thing,
and
life will still go on.
And I feel stress is just going to get worse.
So, and stress and hormones, that's like the best thing you can do for your hormones is learn how to breathe, how to meditate.
So with hormones and stress and inflammatory responses, is because I've seen on your Instagram the food that you eat.
Yeah.
Please tell me about the food, because obviously we can be speaking about this, but is there specific areas of the food? Is there things that you do eat? Is there things you stay away from? Yeah.
Okay, so first of all...
Sorry, I just threw you like
I'm like trying to okay, where do I start? So our hormones are made from the food we digest. So a lot of people say you are what you eat. You are what you digest. And that's what I see a lot with the blood work that we do. Okay, so let's start at the top. So we have the mouth.
Yes.
First of all, people are not chewing anymore. So we need to chew properly to break the food down enough. So when it hits the stomach is not having to break down these huge pieces of food, okay? So now we need to chew properly. And then when it hits the stomach, the thing we see with so many women is, they call it hyperchlorhydria, but it means like the stomach is not acidic enough. So first of all, the acidity, we need that to break down the pathogens or the bacteria in food, right? So if it's not broken down, that's when the bacteria enters the digestive system, and that's where we have that, what we call the gut dysbiosis, where there's an imbalance between good and bad bacteria in the gut.
Exactly where you are in the system.
Yeah, so I'm going through the whole so as well, it needs to be acidic enough to break the food down in small enough pieces, so it can be, so the bottom sphincter can open and it can actually go to the small intestines. So people get heartburn, now they take antacids. So it's kind of, you almost need to add more acid so that the food can break down, so that it can, and then there's also Q nutrients that's being absorbed in the stomach, magnesium, iron, and then, okay, now we need the liver and the gallbladder. We see a lot of gallbladder issues. especially with women going into when we get a little bit older, the gallbladder becomes sluggish.
Yep.
I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes, because my mom. So everything that you're saying, I'm just drawing back to what my mom and how the older she got and what things were going wrong. So the story that you're telling.
So we want to support the gallbladder, because the gallbladder releases bile that helps to break down the food so we can get the key nutrients out of the food that supports our hormones. So now in the small intestines, that's where leaky gut happens. So now these big particles are coming through. Maybe you also asked me, why do we remove? So I love to, for at least 4 weeks, removing like the basics: gluten, dairy, soy, sugar and processed foods. Because that's very disruptive to the gut lining of the small intestine. So that breaks down, and our gut lining is, I don't know if you knew that, but my mind was blown, as it's literally one cell layer thick. So once you get leaky gut, it just means that that tight junction loosens a bit. And that's when food particles leak into the bloodstream. And that's actually how I got my autoimmune condition. So the body starts fighting these foreign particles that's in the bloodstream, and that's how autoimmune conditions get triggered. That's one of the reasons. So that's why we want to eat food that heal and seal the gut. We want to do collagen, L-glutamine. We want to have enough protein. That's all healing to the gut. There's other things supplements that we do give as well when we see someone with leaky gut. Yeah. And then obviously now the nutrients are absorbed that our hormones need to be at their optimal. Now we go to the large intestines. This is kind of the finishing school. This is where our gut microbiome lives. Now, I think it's 95% of our serotonin is created in the gut. Yep. But also when we're constipated or our gut is not working fast enough, the estrogen is taken back into the bloodstream and it goes for a circulation again. So now we sit with estrogen dominance, and that brings the things that women get, like the heavy periods, the migraines. In menopause, it's like it just becomes like this up and down, up and down. Today you fine, tomorrow you're not, the day after you fine. It's literally like the stock market, your hormones. Oh. So this is how the digestive system, and then there's lots of other things. When we get things like SIBO, it's small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. With candida, that can really mess up the hormones because that leaks into the bloodstream, and that also causes estrogen dominance. So, there's so much, but healing the gut is the key. Yeah. Making sure the stomach is acidic enough and making sure your gut lining is healthy will really be so beneficial for your general health.
I was literally like...
Sorry, it's a lot of it.
No. I was like, yes. Is there any top tips that you'll actually give to any woman that's watching this?
Yeah, that's great, because we all want tangible things. Yeah. So first of all, really good idea is to, maybe you can, or we can speak on this, is adding apple cider vinegar before you have a meal, because that drops the stomach acid.
How many times a day?
Too much, I know, it can be really bad for the teeth, right? So the acidity. So for our clients, we try and do that for them for about 2 weeks. And then we put them on something that we call digestive bitters that just helps the bile and helps the food break down. So it's not, but I would say having apple cider vinegar with your big meal. So when you're going to have your big protein.
Would you have it in like a shot or like a tablespoon?
A tablespoon with a little bit of water, but you literally need to drink it and eat, because the goal of that is to drop the stomach acid.
I think that's an excellent idea, because what the mindset behind it, if you have apple cider vinegar on like a sipping motion, when the pH levels in your mouth drop, then it can start erosion.
Okay.
But if you're having it almost like in a tablespoon form with a bit of water before meal, I'm pretty sure that's...
kind of chug it, so it doesn't have to
it doesn't sit on the two surface. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's okay.
And then you're going to eat straight away anyway.
Yeah, and then you're going to disrupt the pH anyway straight away.
Yeah. Okay. But that's such a good tip, actually. But that was the thing that we say to our clients as well, is do that for a while, but we're nervous about the teeth. So if you're going to say it's okay, it's natural. Yeah. Vinegar is so good, and it actually helps to balance the blood sugar. It's one of the hacks as well that they use for balancing blood sugar.
I remember my granny, back in the day, I was young, she's like, have you apple cider vinegar? And I was like, Granny, please.
Yeah, your granny knew.
Granny knew.
They know more than what we can give them credit for.
Yeah. Sorry.
So that's a good one. What else? Chew your food. Chew your food and eat in a relaxed state, because the thing is, if the food hits the stomach, but the vagus nerve, so that's your largest cranial nerve, or the largest nerve in the body, it goes from the brain to every organ. So that's where the communication from the brain to all the organs goes. So the brain tells the stomach food is on its way. So if you stop, that's why we give thanks Stop, give thanks, breathe, smell your food, whatever, just so that the stomach can get the message to start producing acid.
That's the key.
So we just like, and then the stomach's like, what is going on?
Like I'm going, and then people go, I feel sick.
Got heartburn,
or I'm tired. You know, I've eaten too much. Do you think? I mean, I know the answer to this, but obviously I wanted to. The faster you eat, do you think that people eat a lot more than they should, and by the time they know that they're full, they've overeaten?
That is really a problem now. That's why people over-calorie. I mean, I'm not a calorie counter at all, but calories do, at the end of the day, matter, even if we kind of consume too much. Even though I'm really against calorie counting because that causes so much stress again. But being mindful of the calories and being mindful that if you eat so much and you're still hungry, you have to think, why am I still hungry? Something is off.
If you are eating, again, sorry, this is just because I've been asked this over the years. If you are eating for supper, for argument's sake, do you only sit down for dinner for 20 minutes to eat, or is there a time frame that you need to be eating for? If it sounds like a silly question, but there's some people that will say, I'm sitting down eating slowly for half an hour. Then other people will sit and I'm eating for an hour but slowly.
I think it also depends on like your person, but I think the longer we can savor our food, it's supposed to be a sacred thing, right? Food is supposed to be pleasure. Poor woman that's been cooking maybe in the kitchen for 2 hours and then in 10 minutes we should savor it. So I think definitely the nervous system is happier the longer we take.
I'm so happy. You've literally made my day. Most of the things that you've just said, 98% of it is literally, I could pinpoint most of my patients in my life. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your effort. Thank you for coming on my podcast.
Thank you for inviting me. It was such a pleasure. It feels like we've got so much more to talk about.
And I was going to say, if we can just help one patient in the whole of the dentist studio, I'll be happy. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.